Well, howdy ho Stampers, Deb Valder here, your Fun Stampers Journey Coach, and today I'm going to show you how to do this beautiful rainbow koi fish card. It is using one of our newest products called Create a Palette. And Create a Palette right here comes as a blank ink pad. Let me just show you. It comes as a a blank ink pad, and you can take and refill it with any colors that you want. You can use re-inkers, you can use our new liquid color. Depending on what project you want to do, the possibilities are endless. So with this one, I actually did a blue palette, and can you imagine this done in fall colors and doing some leaves? Oh my goodness, it's absolutely gorgeous. And what about Christmas colors? Like I said, you can do whatever you want. I have a full video on this product spotlight here. You need to go look at it. It's the Create a Palette video, and it is just explaining to you everything that you need to know about this Create a Palette, how to re-ink, how to label, everything. So make sure you check that out. But this is the way it comes. It comes blank. So you have a blank canvas. You can make it whatever you want. It's absolutely gorgeous. So with our koi fish, I'm going to show you how to put it all together. It's going to be so much fun, but I'm going to show you how to use that new little flower in a different way. All right, so let me show you some of the stamps that we're going to be using today. All right, so this is the koi fish. It's called Koi Dreams. It's an ATS. It does have a bundle with it because it has both of the dies to go along with it, so that's super fab. And I also put it into one of our envelopes so that, and with the dividers in here, because I don't want this to scratch up the I don't want the dies to scratch up the stamps, so I put my little divider in there, and these are our cool little pockets that I keep everything handy in. All right, so that's one of the stamps that we're using. We're also going to be using which is a staple in every home, the Journey rectangles. And I'm also going to be using for my words, this is a must-have, go-to stamp set. It's called Must-Have Stamp Sentiments. And it just has some beautiful little sentiments in here, beautiful fonts. This is a must-have stamp set, but I used that one on my card right here. And then another piece that I used was this little guy right here, and it's called Blooming Details Die Set. There is no stamp with it. It's just all filled with dies, and that's where this came from, along with our mirror paper and our gold and silver new pearls. I love them. I absolutely love them. So those are a few of the things that we're going to be using today. Let me bring in my grid paper and we will get started right away. Now the first thing that I want to show you is how to do this flower. So a flower is a flower is a flower, yes. And this is just one of the flowers. It is the only flower that comes in the stamp set. These are the two pieces that come in the stamp set. But this is the flower that we're going to be using first. Now remember, I made my ink pad. I labeled everything so I know what colors are on there, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to stamp with this. Let me just bring in a couple of samples right here. These are just some that I was playing with. Now depending on which way you position your stamp is what design you get on your piece. Okay, so for this one right here, I took my palette and I stamped it horizontally so that the darker colors were over to the right and the lighter colors were over to the left. Whereas with this one right here, what I did was I stamped it this way. Now, I told you that there's a video on this to show you everything that you need to know about it, so I'm not gonna go over all that again, but it just comes out absolutely beautiful. Now, this hummingbird comes from another set called, let me just show you. It's called Sweet Petunia, and it is absolutely beautiful. And this also lends itself. These pieces that I'm showing you today are from the collection Mystic Romance, and it's just beautiful. It has everything to do with embroidery, and it is gorgeous. I just want to say that it's gorgeous. All right, so I just showed you how you can stamp. You can either stamp this way. Do not stamp on the top and then go to the bottom, or the bottom and then the top, because you're going to muddy up your colors. So you're going to watch the way I do stamp this to make it look absolutely beautiful. So for today's project, I'm going to stamp it horizontally. All right. And the first thing that I'm going to do is to get out my piece of paper right here. I will try to use the whole entire piece. So for this one, I'm going to go down to the middle to lower end. I'm going to miss the cool pool up here for this one. Now you'll notice that I'm not stamping straight up and down, and that's because I don't want these lines. So I'm just kind of going a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, just to cover everything up. So the first time that I'm going to stamp this, this is the way the flower would look all by itself. All right, just like that, and it's beautiful all by itself, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in and stamp and ink again using the same sides, and I'm going to take and I'm going to make this, I'm making it a flower burst, okay? So I stamped it again. I'm going to go back in, and you see how I had, that's why I wanted the dark on one side and the light on the other side, so that it didn't all blend in together. And what I'm doing is making a burst out of this flower, just overlapping just a little bit, okay? And one last time, isn't that gorgeous? Just lining it up with the side. And there is our flower. Oh my gosh, look at that. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? Now you can do this all you know, just the way it is right here. I did this in one of my clubs. I have a stamp club. I have several stamp clubs, and this is what they're doing for the month of July 2017. And they loved this so much that they didn't want to cover it up. So they put some of their koi fish and things down here at the bottom. It's up to you, but just showing you that this little flower all by itself, let me just stamp it again so that you can see what it looks like all by itself, okay, with my Create palette. Well, let me just show you, let me grab my cleaner, okay, because I don't want to muddy up the colors. I'm just going to clean this off, and I'm going to show you what it looks like all by itself if I go this way. Okay, so this is done the vertical way, and you're going to see the difference in color. Okay, do you see how beautiful that is? Let me just tear off my fish here and show you what it looks like with my hummingbird. Okay, let's get all of his little body on there. All right, let's just take the hummingbird, and you can kind of just see the colors. Let's see, let's go this way, all the way up. And sometimes it's easier to go ink pad to stamp, and I probably should have done that with this big guy right here, but look at this. How beautiful is that? Okay, so you can also, let me just show you another little version of this. Okay, I'm going to go just like this, and then I'm going to take and just go like this with his little beak, turn it over, and just show you how beautiful. Isn't that so awesome? And let me just bring back in, let's clean this little guy off first. Okay. All right, now I'm going to show you that you can take, look at this, look at these different options that you can do with just the bird, just doing them different ways. And that's, I'm telling you, it is just such a cute little palette. It's just awesome, absolutely awesome. So now I have my starburst and a lot of other things to play with later on, but I have my starfish. Now what I need is a scrap piece of paper, and I'm going to stamp my fish on it. Let me just grab this right here. So while I have my palette out, I'm also going to grab my fish. This is the koi fish, and you just want to decide what way you want it to be light and what way you want it to be dark. And in both of these cards, this one I had the face dark and the face light there. I'm just going to take, and it's just so much fun because you can make so many different options with the same ink pad. And there is a die for this, so we're going to take and cut him out with the die. All right, let's clean this little guy off. And that's all there is to it. I have some cleaner on here. This is just an eyeglass cleaner. And I put some of our cleaner, our Fusion cleaner in here, and that's how I clean them. And that's all there is to it, seriously. All right, so now we have our fish and we have our little guy right here. Let's bring in our Amaze machine, and we're going to do some cutting. All right, so I started out with a piece of our mirror paper. Let me just show you our mirror paper. I don't know how the camera's going to take to this, but this is our mirror paper right here, and I'm going to cut up a piece. I started out with a piece that is 5 1/4 by 4. All right, and now what I need to do is to cut out the middle, because you don't want to waste a single piece of this mirror paper. So let's bring in our Amaze machine, and one of our rectangle dies right here, and I I am going to just cut a rectangle. Now, I want to keep it pretty centered because I am going to have a layer that's going to go over this. But this piece in the middle, I'm actually going to recycle and use again because you know me, I do not like to give up anything. And there is no way that I was going to waste the whole middle of this piece of paper. There we go. Okay, so this is our scrap paper, okay, and this is the piece that we're going to use. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that scrap paper and I'm going to take the dies from, remember that stamp set? Let me just show you what I mean. Not stamp set, the die set. It is called Blooming Details, okay? So that's the die that I'm going to use here. There's no stamp with it. I'm going to use it right here in the middle, and actually I am going to cut out two because I am not going to waste one single piece of this. Okay, so here's this one, and then I'm going to cut out another one. So let's take this one and just stick it over on the side, and I'm going to cut out another one, and then you're going to see I'm actually going to use this piece for another layer. I do not waste anything, and this mirror paper you definitely do not want to waste. Alright, so now let's just grab this right here, and alright, we're done with that die. Now what I want to show you is if you take, let's see, just any piece of paper, I can use this as a background. Okay, do you see that? So I have wasted absolutely nothing. All right, so I will take this and put this aside, and I will save it for a rainy day. And now what we're going to do, because we don't waste anything, we are going to take our Denim Days layer, and I am going to cut out my flower. So I'm going to take this right here. I can probably get two out of here, so let's just do that. There's one, and there we go. Alrighty, so now we have another layer. Okay, so that's my next layer. We're done with that. We need to keep this little guy, and the last thing that we need to cut out is our little koi fish. Alright, so we're going to take our little koi fish that we stamped, add the die to it, and just cut this little guy out. Whoops, gotta go straight, there we go, and grab my top and run it through. Okay, so now we have everything cut out. We are ready to assemble. So let's grab all of our pieces again. Let's get the card back in here. Lots of glitter, lots of glamour. Here we go. So here is our base card, okay? And you're going to take and you're going to fold it and just tap it and then turn it and crease. And you know why we do that, okay? I've told you that many times. Look at that edge, absolutely flawless, okay? So now we have our base card. We're going to add the mirror paper next. And what I did with this one was I added a little bit more room so you could see more of the mirror paper. All right, so let's grab our Easy Glide. And on this one, the only thing that I popped out was the koi fish. Okay, here we go. I'm just putting a little bit on. Oops, there we go. All right, so that's on the bottom. Beautiful paper. So when you have your mirror paper and you need to know if you have any food in your teeth or whatever, all you have to do is look at it and say, because it's mirror paper. Just kidding. Okay, so now we're going to take this layer. Remember where we cut out the flowers because we don't waste anything. All right, we're going to take and add that as our next layer. And then our next layer is this one, but I'm going to use the words first, and unfortunately I need to have a sympathy card, so I'm going to use this one to make it, and I think this is a beautiful sympathy card. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that right down here at the bottom. Right here at the bottom like this. Okay. There we go. Okay. And I did that with our Denim Days, so it matched the background papers here. And this is ready to be adhered to my base card. Okay. So here we go. See, I think I like the more of the mirror showing on this one. See how I have more of the mirror showing than I do on this one? I thought I covered it up too much there, so I'm very pleased with that. And I have just a hint of the navy from the back end of the card right here. And look at that starburst. It all came from this one flower right here, just stamping it around and giving it that dimension because I used my Create a palette. It is gorgeous. Okay, now what I'm going to do is add my flower and my little guy right here. Okay, so let me grab my bloom tool, and remember, everybody should have a bloom tool. Okay, everybody should have one of these bloom tools. It's got everything on it. It slices, it dices, it rocks, it rolls. It's got 7 tools with it, people. Okay, it doesn't just take and brush things out. It's got all kinds of tools with it. And this one is my all-time favorite, the dental tool. I love, love, love that. All right, so that's how easy this was. Did you see how I poked everything out? Just so easy. Alrighty, whoops. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is I just literally took my adhesive, added it to my card, and then I'm going to take some of my Journey Craft glue for this right here because we only need a little bit of it. So I'm just going to put a little bit right there. Okay, put the top back on. This is the best glue on the market. I had somebody email me and say, you know, I've heard that before, that we have the best glue, we have the best this. She goes, I bought some of your Journey Craft glue, and she said it was the truth. I only speak the truth. If I don't like something, I don't show it to you. All right, so I only show you the things that I love. So that's why you always hear me say, I love, love, love this. Alrighty, so there we have that. And now we're going to take our koi fish. Where did my little fish fly off to? Here it is right here. We're going to take him and we're going to use some Journey foam squares for that. So I think I'll take a large one for here, and that's why it's good to have these different sized ones. And I'm going to take a little one for his tail and maybe a little one right over there. All right, and that'll hold him up nice and steady. But we aren't done, folks. Just watch, wait, and see what we have here. All right, so here he's going to go right over here. And this is where they had a hard time covering up their flower because they loved their flower so much. All right, so we have that. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sparkle silk and my gold silk, and I am going to splatter these little guys, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to splatter my my sparkle silk right here. Okay, I love doing this, and I like doing it after the card's put together because then the whole card gets it. Now before I put this away, I'm literally going to color my entire little fish right here because I want him to be dazzling, and it really makes him pop. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but if you have a chance to do this, definitely do it because it does make a huge difference. So when you're buying your sparkle silk, you do want to buy it by the UPS truckload because you will go through this faster than anything that you use. You use it on everything. I'm not kidding you when I say that. All right, so there's that little guy. And the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gold silk right here because that's going to match my gold paper. And I'm just going to splatter this on there for a little bit here and a little bit there just to pick up the gold. And last but not least, I am going to take my new, they come in gold and silver. These are pearls, but they're in gold and silver. They're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I'm just going to take and put a couple of these on there. So here is one. I'll take one of each one of the sizes here. 2, and the little baby one right here. 3. Look at that. Did you see how it all came together? Isn't it beautiful? Now, let me just show you on this other card right here. So this I did a 4 burst, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. On this card right here, I just did a 2 burst. I put one on one side, one on the other side, added a few embellishments here and there with my, my little silver pearls, and then added some of my Cool Pool silk. So we have Cool Pool silk also, and because I wanted to pick up the Cool Pool paper right here, so I kind of all brought it together with that. And look at it, isn't it absolutely beautiful? Just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So if you have any questions, you let me know. You know how to get a hold of me. I'm always around. You take care, have a great day, and thanks for stopping by.